Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma. Yes, indeed, on Kholodny Ferma. A brutal 1 vs 1 is about to take place here between Avanar, fighting for the Soviets for the 75th Rifle Division, going up against Stephenn of the 5th SS Panzer Division Wiking. We are seeing here taking place on Kholodny Ferma on the summer map, where resources are also a bit more interestingly distributed, more along a line. And we are seeing here that the Russian player is heading straight for the southern pass. Going to move down south, it would look like, where Stephenn is taking more of a measured approach. But clearly he's rushing for the fuel, he's going for this point, and of course it connects the entire way there. And he's likely going to move straight for the fuel point. Conscripts out for Avanar, moving north. And the first Grenadier squad arrives there for Stephenn. Stephenn of Australia. And already there, hurrahing to his conscripts, moving swiftly again towards the north, this time clearly intent on securing some vital resources, perhaps even denying. Oh, again we are noting here what likely will be a get the fuel, deny the fuel to the other bastard strategy, or sort of initial tactic, right here from Avanar, which is certainly quite common by now. Grenadiers marching up in their Namas this Vaterland. Second squad of Grenadiers out. Point secured. Quickly lobbing up their minor engagement between the conscripts and the Grenadiers. Conscripts being slightly rolled out of there. Second squad of Grenadiers arriving for Stephenn. He might go for what next? Also noting lightning war doctrine, Festung support and assault support. Conscripts being slowly pushed away there.
The enemy has engaged us!
Sneaking up behind. And an MG42 on the way there. The Grenadiers are going to attack the conscripts. Right then again, no, this is mostly just Avanar delaying Stephenn's acquisition of resource, while of course he's also taking the southern half. So very interesting application of strategy. And we do see that Stephenn actually managed to rush his Grenadiers into the building, denying it to Avanar. Well done there by Stephenn. Then of course work to gain these resources, because in the meanwhile Avanar will do his best to delay it for Stephenn, delaying precious fuel, delaying precious munitions to the Vaterland. More conscripts are arriving again. This is clearly an initial tactic here again. Denial of resources in effect. Not quite scorched earth, but at the very least a scorched pantry. MG4 moving up to support, and of course Stephenn now very much intent on securing that fuel he needs as soon as possible. Of course we're seeing Avanar with lots of conscripts rushing back here in the north.
We are losing a sector.
Going to make a rush in. Point there secured. And there we go. Conscripts moving up, taking up position here, and there we go, the MG42 rips loose. Suppressing them. One of them managed to hurrah away, the other one not quite as much. Centre being secured. There we go, pinned to the dirt. Centre being secured by another one. And of course we also see some harassment going in here from Stephenn, doing the same thing, although just with the vital cut-off points. Also noting he's actually denied the heavy cover there, the wrecked Panzer for his opponent. And already here Avanar gets very aggressive with the mines. Well done, Avanar. And he's moving north, and he continues to remain there. And now actually makes a rush, vaulting over and getting into cover before he was laid down in the mine, but still disrupting further of Stephenn's movements. Additional Grenadier squads. In fact, we've seen 4 squads of Grenadiers out there for Stephenn. 4 squads. Pioneers pushed away there.
The territory is out of contact.
We are noting all in all 4 squads of conscripts, 1 squad of combat engineers, where Stephenn now has 4 squads of Grenadiers and an MG42. Stephenn's clearly going for a very heavy tier 1 from the German side,
Grenadiers reporting.
with plenty of Deutsches Infantry, die Besten in der Welt.
It is our end.
Of course, the question is, what will he do next? Conscripts taking up defensive position there. He could take up and of course try and blast them out with rifle grenades. No buildings as of yet for Anawa. So of course, question is, what is he intending? What is he wanting to do? They're launching an assault from several angles on the building here, spreading out their fire. While again, Anawa continues to try and harass Stephenn's positions. Grenadiers are a bit cautious, or perhaps Stephenn is not paying attention to them. Either way, a small infantry force down south, a larger one up north. MG42 ready to support as well if necessary. Anawa rushing in more conscripts to try and push away. And there we go. Hoorah! The shouts of a dozen Russian infantrymen can be heard as they move through across the open plains and roads. And there we go. Molotov's getting locked at Stephenn's position. MG42 there to stop one part of the assault. Flamethrowers out for Stephenn, going to burn out the Bolsheviks from the buildings rightfully belonging to the Reich. And there we go, we are seeing that Stephenn has checked up. Grenadiers are moving in here partly. Oh dear, Molotov at the Pioneers, forcing them away.
Grenadiers reporting.
Very intense infantry fighting here between the two sides. Companies vacate the premises. Looks like he might finally begin building something. Stephenn might be doing the same. Was he taking up? No. No clear idea. And there we go. Conscripts moving for the northern victory point. Find themselves met with resilient German fire. Vasily drops down here by the middle as the Grenadiers continue to lock fire. Molotovs are attempted, and there we go. The conscripts retreat.
Enemies firing on us! We are ready!
And the house must be a bit warm at the moment since there's smoke rising out the windows. And in fact, getting a mortar, that's interesting. And again, going for the cut-off point. Stephenn continues the pressure. And there we go, we are seeing the support weapon company going up. Stephenn apparently feeling very confident. He's not seeing any scout cars or anything like that, of course, in which case it probably would have been earlier now. Instead opting for something a bit more ready to hold up against other prospects like machine guns and enemy mortars. Troops reinforcing.
Grenadiers ready.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Still holding the missions there. The conscripts in there proved to be quite resilient. Bothersomely so.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
And quickly cutting off the fuel from Stephenn. Again, MG42 managed to stop the conscripts. And no, I thought I might have seen an MG42 on the minimap. My apologies. But we are seeing Stephenn actually getting a nice chunk of the map using his quite large infantry force and currently superior infantry force, although of course he's spreading out a bit much at times. Mortar up as well.
Flame force squad here.
MG element ready.
And there we go. Either conscript support or guards for either combined arms has been chosen here for Anawa. Either way, hit the dirt is available. An awfully effective ability which pretty much currently negates a lot of what the German has. Rifle grenades can work against it, but grenades are currently too unreliable, really. But I do believe that one is going to take a kick to the groin, that ability, which is quite thankfully going to happen, I hope. Stephenn using some of the mines he's managed to set up to lay down a telemine in case of a scout car rush. Boldly doing so. Pack on the way as the first thing, just in case. He's not taking any chances with this Bolshevik opponent who's already laid down a fuel cache there.
This sector is secure.
Pioneer slowly advancing, coming under actual fire. MG42 moving up to support. Hit the dirt, although fire, I believe, ignores that, or apparently hit the dirt also ignores flamethrowers, at least negates it. There we go, rifle grenade on the troops, and takes out two. Not quite as many as one would hope, but works. Looks like the mortar actually managed to collapse the house, killing the conscripts inside. Doom for those fighting for the motherland. And Grenadiers here getting Molotov, need to get out of there. Conscript taking the north. And looks like he just built this building because he needed something. We also know the medics are up by his base. No doctrine as of yet though for Stephenn. And more conscripts for Avanar and the 75th Rifle Division. Conscripts there forced away by the mighty Grenadiers. Communists taking up position in the church. mortar rounds continue to fall. I'm not a huge fan of it. Of course, there's the smoke, but otherwise, I mean, the regular attack and the regular barrage is simply currently too unreliable. I mean, currently a good way to basically avoid it is not moving at all. Munitions cast by the way up for Stephenn, so clearly he's got something in mind involving an awful lot of it. Time to pull over to Avanar, who has in fact gone for Guards Rifle Combined Arms, and in fact we see the first Guards Infantry squad appearing there, anti-tank rifles in their hand. Better infantry than conscripts. They have the same amount of armor as a Grenadier squad. They also do a bit more damage than conscripts. They also shoot faster, something like that. I'm less sure about their rifle damage, but overall they should be more impressive infantry, in particular with the light machine guns. A bit of cat and mouse in the north here between the Grenadiers and the conscripts, going for the fuel. Though we are seeing a pack apparently being moved out, and the mortar, the Granatenwerfer, one of the smaller ones the Germans used at this period of the war. They also had the 120mm mortar. In fact, they stole it directly and copied it from the Russians. Mortar mines, Stephenn clearly not taking any chances.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
And probably perhaps the munitions cast was something in that direction. Hitting the dirt right in front of the mortar could prove slightly to the advantage of Stephenn and the 5th SS Panzer Division Viking, initially composed of sort of different volunteers. Danish, Norwegian, and I believe also Finnish volunteers were part of it. Although those were later either moved to Finland, of course the Danish, Norwegian were moved over to the Nordland, except for a small part who still remained within the division.
Well done, comrades. The point is ours.
Also, fun fact, the majority compared between Norwegians and Danes would always be Danes. Most of the Norwegian volunteers went to the ski battalions and some SS police battalions who fought up in Finland. MD42 setting up there. Conscripts rushing straight at the MD42. One squad stopped, but of course the other one there, and there we go. The SMG, the PPS-841, very effective submachine gun, and also captured in quite large amounts by the Germans, several millions. In fact, they captured so many they basically could go, you know, Heinz, we could just, you know, rechamber them to use our ammunition. Yeah, that is good. And so they did.
We are ready.
Fun little fact there. Mortar rounds flying here, not really doing much, although it looks like they managed a few more kills. Spotting the munitions cache.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Pack holding up here, a bit on its own. And we are noting here that Stephenn has gotten some Gewehr 43, so, and we know that he hasn't got Jaeger infantry, he's actually gone for the Lightning War doctrine, which is certainly quite an effective doctrine. And again, that's also where this munitions cache segs in nicely. And we actually see Molotovs being set off in the hopes of cooking off the munitions.
Conscripts under attack. There are no cowards here.
And we are now seeing the mechanized armor company up. Pretty much what a lot of Soviet players go for now, since the Su-85 is, well, quite effective. Of course, let's hope the smoke can sort of negate it to a certain extent, but there's also other things that can mean the mortar can't get that close to really get there. It's a bit unclear that, but I can't claim to be a huge fan of the Su-85 currently, and I would not be surprised, and by the way, there's a balance patch coming next week, if it gets a bit of a nerf. Because it's surprisingly effective. It's got tough frontal armor, it's got quite nice damage, quite nice range, and it's also got a lot of health, which makes it actually quite difficult to deal with.
Your orders, comrade.
But there we go, conscripts moving up, getting fired out by the Grenadiers with the Gewehr 43s. Mechanized armor company going up. And there we go, Maxim actually out for Avanar, quickly stopping the Grenadiers in their tracks. So it did have other machine guns, but this was pretty much the primary one. They later tried to replace it with another one, slightly bigger, more accurate, less water cooled. And of course there was the 50 caliber round they had. Stephenn doing his best to hold the northern fuel, and he's in fact kind of being very heavily pushed back on all fronts by Avanar. Also, of course, fun to notice is he's actually got absolutely no Panzer Grenadiers, which is not that unsurprising either, since in particular Gewehr 43's Grenadiers generally tend to do better since they don't need to get up close to the enemy, which is rather where the Panzer Grenadiers tend to face some problems, and he's in fact repairing in the munitions cache. Getting stopped here by the Maxim. Though likely that will come under fire from the mortar. No, that's busy with some troops down south.
Units awaiting orders.
Comrade!
And there we go, the first Su-85 Soviet tank destroyer, one of many designs.
The enemy still has 300 points.
Return! Run for cover!
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Conscripts here catching on fire, quite severely so. Maxim moving in, not coming under fire from the MD-42, but the MD-42 is definitely in problems there. Grenade getting knocked, taking out one grenadier. And in fact we'll see here that Stephenn's infantry is being pushed away with some losses, although largely wounds that could be healed, and we do in fact see a medic bunker up for Stephenn. Ostwind Flak Panzer has arrived. The might of the Flak Panzer shall see you off.
Enemy fire!
There we go, firing away high explosive rounds into the Soviet side. Anawar though holding a nice chunk of the map, but he's not doing much to defend it. He's in fact not putting it down mines at all, which is actually a bit odd.
They've opened up on us!
Ostwind here looks like, oh, it got the Maxim. Su-85 moving into a right, and there we go, the combat engineers are also getting shot at.
The bastards are killing us!
Looks like Stephenn, no, he ignores the Maxim, and there we go, the Su-85 reveals itself to Stephenn.
We are losing territory.
Of course, alerting him to the fact that the Ostwind Flak Panzer should not be returning to that area anytime soon.
We are awaiting orders. Infantry attacking.
But nice pressure there on Stephenn. Got secured.
The enemy is encroaching on
More
our
troops.
territory.
And instead moving the Ostwind elsewhere, catching these conscripts there. And definitely hold the dirt does not work against that, thankfully.
Infantry shooting at us! Engineers ready.
So Stephenn making a slight return here with fire and fury. Not Yuri.
A toast to our promotion!
A rifle grenade here could finish them off.
80 grenades now available to all conscripts.
And we also note here anti-tank grenades are ready to help with the Su-85. Of course, get more out of that.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
There we go, securing the centre, but we also see here that Stephenn is very low on victory points, very low, and there we go, full infantry force moving in there. Anavar launching a full-scale assault, and there's nothing actually to hold it back. Grenadiers that have been equipped with a Gewehr 43, but again, it is simply overwhelming. And there's nothing you can do to actually stop this at the moment. In fact, we see that Stephenn is trying to rush in to sort of minimize pandemonium up there, and we see a Katyusha rocket shot arriving,
Capturing supply sector.
which is definitely going to make it harder for Stephenn to hold on. And a Panzer Kampfwagen 4.
This now belongs to our people and workers of the Soviet Union. Enemy squad attacking!
Maxim quickly stopping the Grenadier advance.
The enemy is taking.
Pat being forced away, Ostwind needs to be careful.
Yes, comrade.
And at the same time going in here for the cut-off points, denying the precious through there to Anavar. And the 75th Rifle Division, Panzer IV advancing, but needs to be careful. The Su-85 can take it on from quite safe distance, plus infantry with likely the ability to button it down. No, not quite, but still, anti-tank rifle and anti-tank grenades, and there we go. Anti-tank grenade on the Ostwind Flak Panzer, damaging the engine, allowing the Su-85 to move in.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Su-85, Ostwind Flak Panzer tries to get away. There we go, it is gone.
Enemy forces
Panzer
are
IV arrives, Pack also tries to move in. In fact, we see the Su-85 quickly gets out of there as the Panzer IV and the Ostwind digs into the Soviet infantry.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Grenadiers moving in from several angles, but getting assaulted there by conscripts and combat engineers. Maxim rushed away.
Man down!
There we go. Stephenn forced retreat from the south.
Yes, comrade. Contact! Enemy
Reinforcing
machine
left
gun.
and right.
We earned this territory. We will keep it. Soldiers ready.
But considerably brutal fighting going on here. I do believe it's time to look back at Stephenn. He certainly has a few options to go for at the moment. Another Katyusha barrage. Mines being laid down.
You guys, listen to me if you want to
About
live.
time.
We are ready for action.
And in fact, Stephenn is equipping every Grenadier squad with Gewehr 43s. Again, not really caring much about Panzer Grenadiers, it would seem. Oh! And the Panzer IV hits the mine. This could be it. The H-85 might try and rush in and knock it out since it's down to less than half health. Clearly, Stephenn not bothering manpower with Panzer Grenadiers, instead opting for a much larger Grenadier force with Gewehr 43s, getting the most out of it that way, and also from a considerably safer distance. Conscripts moving in to try and help here, like try and get off an anti-tank grenade or two. Grenadiers moving in to support. Mortars also moving in, might try and support with some mortar smoke to cover up. Quick Katyusha. And there we go, smoke pops down. Panzerfaust. And there we go, using smoke to allow his Panzer IV to be repaired. We also in fact see that the H-85 is pulling back completely. The second H-85 arriving from Avanar. Support the 75th Rifle Division while conscripts and Guards Infantry continue to fight up in the north. Stephenn constantly being bereft of fuel. Stephenn so far has avoided any major squad losses, which is certainly quite well done. In fact, Stephenn is now floating a bit of manpower. He could consider some fuel caches. For example, one here would be well and safe placed.
Standing by. That's everyone. Grenadiers ready. Grenadiers reporting.
Stephenn's holding out quite nicely. 2 Grenadier squads now, Veterancy 2. Of course, if they reach Veterancy 3 with those Gewehr 43s, they are definitely going to be a problem for Avanar. And they're going assaulting towards the centre. Conscripts moving ahead. We're seeing a bunker going down from Stephenn, likely going to secure and hold the central victory point. H-85 is getting repaired. Ostman moving in to support. He'll deal with the Soviet infantry. And Grenadier squad here took a beating from the S-85s. Down to 1 man. And the Ostwind charges into the Maxim. Might try and see if we can't wipe it out.
Our skill increases. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And an MG-40 clearly moved a bit too far ahead there. Another Panzer IV on the way for Stephenn. Ostwind here needs to get out of there. Schnell. And there we go, machine gun bunker up there, saving Stephenn from spending further manpower on that. Could try and drop some smoke here, obfuscating the line of fire of the H-85. And that is not in Stephenn's plan at the moment. And the PaK-43 is pointing in the wrong direction. PaK-40, I mean, is pointing in the wrong direction. Less good. And we're seeing a 182mm mortar out from Avanar going to report part the SS positions. As the mortar here actually gains Veterancy 2. That's quite rare. And there we go. Looks like Stephenn just got another conscript squad. Guards infantry to make a rush for the house, though, at the same time as his Katyusha is bombarding the area. Careful, Avanar, careful. Would be a shame if the building collapsed onto your own men. Oh dear, the pack are cleared out. That is very bad news. Another Panzer IV, though, has arrived from the fatherland.
Enemy still has 300 points.
Gewehr 43 Grenadiers encountering companies down south.
Infantry assault. Panzer IV ready.
Maxim running into problems. Grenadiers doing what they can there. Everywhere, in fact. He could also try using relief infantry.
Enemy is taking
Perhaps get some Osttruppen out. Panzer Force moving up, but H-35s are moving in, trying to dominate the area. Although this one's moving a bit too far ahead, he could try and surround it, but no, Panzer IV buttoned, engine damaged. This is really bad news for Stephenn. And again, the H-35 actually has higher frontal armor than the Panzer IV's penetration, so there's absolutely no chance of the Panzer IV. Oh, there we go. H-35 down, but another one moves in. Panzer IV down. Ostwind in trouble. Ostwind in trouble. Might go down. In fact, the Pioneers also need to get out of there. They're low on health. Grenadiers trying to flank, and there we go. Ostwind down. An absolute disaster. Panzer Faust damage to the side, and there we go. Veteran C2. Panzer IV doing what he can.
We are ready for action.
Advancing across all fronts. Panzer IV keeping a safe distance there. Well done, Stephenn. Maxim quickly setting up to stop the Grenadiers from running down the H-35, doing more damage. Stephenn could consider upgrading the light machine guns, just getting a bit more damage there. I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis, where we're currently seeing a very jagged front. Stephenn's making some progress in the north. He's taking some losses in the centre, but overall he's holding out. Avanar also doing some damage, but he's currently also taking some nasty losses. He's losing to the mortars, he's losing to the Veteran 2 Grenadiers, and he's, generally losing a bit to everything. He needs something to hold back the German infantry, which is currently really pushing back Avanar on a lot of fronts. That, of course, on the Veteran 2 mortar, which actually done quite a bit of damage for once. So, of course, what can Avanar do? Of course, you can get more infantry. Though, of course, you could also try getting an SS-76 and try and bombard the German infantry positions. That might also have some merit. What he needs to get, though, is that H-85 back, get it repaired, getting back in the fight as quickly as possible with the least amount of waste time. He could consider more Guards infantry, but currently the situation is looking less good for Avanar. Stephenn's really made a good push here, and while again he lost 2 tanks, he's still got 1 left, and he's still got a lot of infantry, and that's the difference between Avanar and Stephenn. Stephenn's so far been able to hold his Grenadiers much better in one piece. And again, the Gewehr 43s just really mean he gets a bit more out of them. Overall, they can shoot on the move. They're less difficult to overall, stop, which is overall quite nice, and they can of course do so from a better range than, say, Panzer Grenadiers will need to get to. And of course, the thing to remember about Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers is, in terms of survivability, they're largely the same. I mean, they have the same armor, the same health, which again is also a bit where the Panzer Grenadiers tend to run into some problems. Anyways, Stephenn holding out nicely here, got a nice support group to support all of his infantry, though he needs to rebuild his Panzer forces, or perhaps go for a Tiger, in which case a few fuel caches might work. He's still got plenty of manpower. But again, for Avanar, more H-85, perhaps an H-86, but he needs more infantry right now. He needs some infantry, and he needs to sort of consolidate. He needs to sort of focus his troops now, because currently he's largely losing one-on-ones with the Grenadiers and the Gewehr 43s and whatnots. That's not really to his advantage, obviously. But let us return to the fight, as the mortar here is running into some severe problems from the German panzers. In fact, looks like that mortar could go down. Or not. Conscripts pushing in here. Grenadiers could focus together. And no, apparently he seems to be ignoring. And there we go. He's actually moving in after the Katyusha. A bold move here, but could work due to the H-85's current state. Now we see a lot of infantry, and of course right there we do see that Stephenn realises what's going on, and he quickly pulls back. In fact, oh, he actually lost something. Oh dear. I'm not sure what it is though. Looks, oh, he actually lost a Pioneer squad. What a shame. And we're seeing a strafing run coming in there.
Enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
The Sturmovik rolls in, firing away with its cannons, tearing up the ground, but that's about it.
Killing us!
Yeah? You need something?
Stephenn having a strong position here by the house. Veterans 2 mortar, Veterans 1 MG. Their 2 gunners moving up to support the Panzer. And the Grenadiers down south immediately find themselves pushed off.
Pioneers ready for assignment.
And there we go, Avanar consolidating his infantry into one force and just pushing ahead. Of course, Stephenn creating a smaller battle group up north. This Panzer force support by the Grenadiers is also going to pose considerable problems for Avanar. In fact, his Maxim was a bit too confident there and got quickly pushed off. And we're actually seeing Stephenn going for a sniper now. Interesting, interesting. And he's actually now getting a Panzer Grenadier squad. A single squad of Panzer Grenadiers.
Pioneers awaiting orders. We are losing a sector.
Sniper reporting.
Pioneers awaiting orders. We have new units. Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And there we go. Fedorov quickly gets dropped with a sniper bullet. Hitting the dirt, but of course right in front of the mortar. And of course note here, snipers can also be largely negated with hit the dirt.
We're under Soviet attack!
Grenadiers here though need to get out, Schnell. Down to one man. And we just see hordes of conscripts guards infantry moving up from the south. Cameron intensifying, there we go, Panzer, and he's equipped with Panzer Schrecks. Makes sense. Just want something that can move a bit closer with their Raketen Panzerbüchse. Trying to grenade the Panzer, but it doesn't quite work there. Sniper though, largely left unharassed. Now going MG42 turning to the southern side of the house. Panzers continue, but already they're losing 2 men. H-85 just slaughtering the Panzer Gunners. Of course, you have to be a bit careful when you're moving up Panzer Gunners with Panzer Schrecks. Be careful about doing it in the open. You will be targeted to most Soviet armor, even tank destroyers. And there we go, another H-85 firing away. Panzer IV doing what they can here. Taking a nasty volley there from the H-85s. One Panzer egg rocket connects, and there we go. A full retreat otherwise. Stephenn, immediately under intense fire from the enemy, begins laying down tiller mines.
Enemy is taking our territory. We've done it!
Grenadiers!
But his infantry is certainly taking a beating, and his Panzer so far has not really achieved much.
Reinforcements complete.
Einsatzbereit.
The enemy is attempting
Guards
to
infantry.
steal our sector.
Finding us a bit under fire from Panzer Grenadiers. I mean Grenadiers, but I will. And time to pop back to Avanar. He's got 5 squads of infantry himself. Panzer IV needs repairs, desperately so.
You have orders? Comrade?
There we go, Guards infantry coming under attack from 2 sides.
H-85 motor is damaged.
And the H-85 hits a mine almost down, in fact.
This is our sector now.
There you go, Guards infantry quickly on the run. Smaller team moving north.
Guard squad ready. Assault gun in the fight.
We have a DP-28. Give us a target.
H-85 actually being bombarded a bit here. Oh, the mortar went down. Direct hit from the Soviet mortar. Knocked it out.
Firing on us.
And gave it veterancy too.
Contact with the enemy.
That's definitely sad. And there we go, veterancy free for the conscripts, hitting the dirt, of course, right in front of the Grenadiers, so they can't do anything. He needs to get his men out of there very quickly. Another push up the centre, supported by everything more or less that Avanar can muster. 2 tank destroyers, a mortar, machine guns. Panzer Grenadiers trying here, but they're not quite succeeding, as usual. Though, of course, with the Panzer they're considerably less effective against infantry. So that's not a huge surprise here.
We are ready.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
We have lost.
Oh, Panzer Grenadiers actually knock out a Guards infantryman right there.
Ready and willing. Order ready now.
And looks like the Panzer is going to try. And there we go. Got one H-85. A small victory for the Reich.
Enemy under attack. One of our vehicles.
And there we go. Stephenn advancing across a large front again. Might lose the H-85 if he's not careful. But another one arrives. And there we go. Veterans 3 Grenadier squad once more hitting the dirt. And immediately causing a halt to Stephenn's advance.
Do you need something? They've opened up on us! Grenade! We are taking losses!
And there we go.
The sector is at risk.
Quiet. And more Katyushas. Taking up position in the church with a sniper behind everything else. Once more we see the 2 H-85s moving up, and we see a Tiger arriving from reserve.
For the people!
The 102nd SS Schwerer Panzer Abteilung.
We are awaiting orders.
Riflemen ready.
And a swift engagement here between Grenadiers and conscripts. Bit free for the Grenadiers, but of course hit the dirt again. More or less negates all of it. And of course a Molotov. Panzer IV arrives to try and save the day while the Tiger moves in from the north.
We are under attack. They see us.
Grenade! Man down!
Rifle grenade. Getting one of the bastards manning the machine gun.
Fire!
Soviet mortars, Soviet Guards infantry. Stephenn is attacking from every angle, sending in infantry first. Although he might have wanted to support that, but the Tiger apparently decided against it.
What do you have?
And a single H-85 now being dispatched. Actually, he's spreading out his tank destroyers. That is perhaps not the best of ideas. As that's going to allow Stephenn, if he finds out, to isolate him. There we go. Maxim goes down. Sniper helped. 14 kills on that man as well. Rifle grenade here doing nothing to the Guards infantry except slightly damaging them. Gewehr 43s end up doing most of the work.
Guards, stand your ground.
Very close in victory points, by the way. Oh, sniper went down to the Katyusha, and a second one is on the way.
Fresh meat has arrived.
Of course, we see that some heavy armor is prepared. Very heavy armor, in fact. There we go, conscripts running straight into the Tiger, and of course, in that time, discovering the presence of it to report back to Avanar.
It is now under our control.
And a full-on infantry assault there. 2 veterans, 3 Grenadiers, and some 2 Panzer Grenadiers. And that, by the way, is the most reliable way to actually get them veterancy, since of course they gain a lot more experience by actually just damaging vehicles and knocking them up than they do dealing with infantry. Tiger advances, gets a few there. Panzer IV following up, and there we go. Blitzkrieg from the Panzer IV. Panzer Grenadiers advancing in. And we do see that the 2 H-85s are split up from each other. Panzer IV needs to get away. H-85 here to prom. Tiger opens up. Panzer Grenadiers open up. Almost down. Bet 2 on that H-85. Panzer IV, though, makes it back alive. Just barely though. S-85 can take a lot of Panzer rockets. They seem to have been a bit nerfed at some stage. Tiger already down to half health though. Not really getting much out of that one. And again, it's just not doing much damage neither to infantry nor to armour because it largely doesn't have the range or the damage. And there we go, Panzer squad almost down to half, and there we go, quickly hitting the dirt right in front of everything. One S-85 though goes down.
We are suffering vehicle losses.
Up north, heavy fighting here, and looks like a fragmented bomb is on the way. No, anti-tank strafe, which doesn't end up doing a lot of damage. Tiger quickly getting repaired. And another return there from the Stuka, which doesn't do much either. Another pass. Will that end up doing anything? Close to getting the Katyusha. Close. Oh, all the pioneers trying to repair the Tiger are dead. Blown to bits against the side of the armour, and there we go. One Katyusha went down to the Stuka. The Kanonenvogel, as it was known, more colloquially.
More units are here.
Tiger, of course, forced away once more.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Taking fire! Waiting order!
And there we go, running straight down the Grenadiers.
We are down to 75 points.
And there we go, Molotov, and that's largely going to force those Grenadiers off the field.
Tank destroyer here.
And we're now on the losing end of the victory point fight. Clearly not giving up, and there we go, another Panzer IV. That Tiger, though, is going to be out of the fight for some time. And there we go, flanking, getting up behind the church, and getting behind the S-85, which has not been pulled back far enough. And there goes second Panzer IV moving in, but already a second S-85 is up, already opening up, then doing terrible damage to that Panzer IV. Veterancy free, oh good lord. That is bad news. As that means besides its damage bonus, we pretty much almost doubles it, and now it's going to be much, much harder to knock out.
Red Army, at your service.
And back to Stephenn.
We are close.
Trying to hold the north here with a single Panzer IV and a Grenadier squad, as Guards infantry lead the charge. And veterans use one Guard squad. In fact, we note here that pretty much almost all of Stephenn's infantry is veterancy free. Well, the same can't really be said about the armour. Not even veterans who won. MG outflanked and like to end up dead. Making another push up the centre.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Tiger once more getting repaired. We in fact see that the Panzer IV is pushed away from the north. The presence of another S-85 up there rather sorted that out. Which of course also says something about the power of the S-85, that largely can even take on a veteran 2 Panzer IV, which is largely harder to deal with. Oh dear, he actually murdered his own combat engineers with his Katyusha. That's good. Guards infantry leading the charge from the north.
Red Army is attacking. We are losing a sector.
Conscripts hitting the dirt, of course, right away. MG-42 secured here. Rive grenades trying to do it, but just can't quite get it off. And there we go, flanking Grenadier squad ends it on the spot. Tiger once more rolling out and misses. Again, I'm not entirely sure I would currently say that the Tiger is worth the resources. S-85 setting in, of course, that veterancy fleet. S-85, a beast in its own right. Down to 2 victory points. Points ticking down for Stephenn. Telemine went off, almost knocking out the SU-85 right there, and this one just continues to do away and already down to half health. So that is definitely not good. And there we go, Veterans 2, Panzer moving up, but again there's so much infantry where it simply can't rush ahead and try to flank it. Of course the other flank's also covered. The situation is definitely looking a bit desperate with that SU-85, Veterans 3. Panzer 4 doing what I can. More Katyusha rockets, more rocket artillery.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Stephenn just needs one more victory point. He's getting a larger tank force, but even then, question is, can it make its way through?
Heavy Panzer, ready for orders.
How can we help?
Russians! Shoots in here.
Guards infantry taking grenadiers, taking down the fuel point. Not Guards infantry. Bloody well not.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And of course Avanar is awaiting Stephenn's next move. Of course he's trying his best to sort of position himself between the two victory points so he can cover each equally well. He needs to hold them both, of course. If he loses one even momentarily, it's game over for him. But there we go, Panzer 4 getting ready for something. And looks like Stephenn is just going to hell with it. He's launching it in. Full-on assault. Panzer 4 made behind the Veterans 3. The rest of the armour should be able to outmaneuver it now. Tiger opens up, gets through the rear armour of the SU-85. Panzer 4, they're already heavily damaged. Tiger moves up. Panzer 4 charges in a full-on assault at the centre. The SU-85s have been lured out. And there we go. Centre victory point is falling. He is not willing to risk it at the same time though he's taking this up, but he's coming under heavy fire from the MG42 here. Escalating infantry, which sacrifice themselves, are pinned to the ground. Panzer 4 and Tigers continue. Tiger almost down. And there we go, Tiger down. He didn't even get Veterans 1. SU-85 lost. And looks like the SU-85 might finally go down. Almost getting a Panzer 4 though. An anti-tank grenade, damaging the engine. And there we go, Panzer 4 down. And game over. It was incredibly close right here, but ultimately Stephenn persevered by basically overwhelming him, attacking him at several points, and ultimately we saw that Avanar fell. The SU-85s fell, although it did cause considerable losses amongst his tanks. Many Panzer IVs were lost, and including the Tiger. Again, I am not currently convinced that the Tiger is worth the resources. Let's just keep it at that. But very close fighting here. We saw Stephenn though making excellent use of grenadiers with Gewehr 43s. Panzer grenadiers were only gotten in once, and that was basically just to get Panzerschrecks, not for their current combat abilities. And again, I think that says it all about the current state of the Panzer grenadiers as well. But overall, well played by Stephenn. Also well played by Avanar, although again, dirty tricks with hit the dirt and the SU-85s. Of course, this one refused to go down no matter what. No matter what. Again, a Veterans 3 SU-85 is a demon on the battlefield currently. And pretty much took out, I don't know how many tanks. 3 this one took. And of course, just did a lot of damage to the others. So well played. What Avanar wanted to do, of course, was mine more. He barely mined at all, which was definitely a bit of a problem. He could certainly have done a lot more to slow down Stephenn's advances. That and speed of, and of course, it sometimes spread out too much, and then other times, it was a bit, schizophrenic. The Katyushas were a nice move, but at sometimes it also felt like he might have benefited from a tank or two, to harass that way. He needed something to be a bit more mobile, and that was ultimately what Stephenn outdid him in. Stephenn overall also got some nice uses out of his own doctrine as well. So overall, well done. Hope you enjoyed something of this. Hope you learned something from it. If you did want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it. If you didn't, well, once in a replay, provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.